Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at WagerTalk.com, and all daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including 5% best bets normally priced at $35. As an added bonus, any picks packages loaded early for Overnight Tuesday or action during the week will also be priced at $9 until midnight on Monday. So make sure to take advantage of getting these $25 and $35 picks for only $9 before the clock strikes 12 and they return to regular price.
Got it. Wow. All right, guys, welcome in here as headlines coming hard and fast here across the sports landscape here. We got a little college football news, new head coaches, University of Miami, maybe, I don't know. It seems like it's welcome Mario Cristobal to Miami, but I'm sure we'll get more information as the day goes on. And we got some college basketball to talk about because we certainly hope it was a profitable weekend for you guys, because I know it was a profitable weekend for these three gentlemen here. Looking to break down. It's a short card here tonight, guys. Doesn't mean there aren't some edges to be had and some value to be had. And if there's anybody that's going to be able to squeeze out some value in a short card in college hoops, it's Drew Martin. It is Adam Trigger, and it is Tony Mejia. You can just ringing it out right now here. So, Drew, happy Monday, man. $9 Monday, of course, at WagerTalk.com, which means best bets are $9 there. How was the weekend, and what do you got locked and loaded here for Wager Talk?
Hey, Joe, the weekend was good, man. Profitable weekend. Anytime that happens, I'll take it. So more winners than losers. And yeah, Wager Talk got a best bet in a bowl game, actually.
Nice.
Gonna jump on this number. I don't think it's gonna last very long, so I think that it's something you can take advantage of, guys. $9 Monday. Also got a special $99 for college basketball and college football throughout the national championship of college football. You'll get all my plays in both sports. That's kind of where I'm trying to make my money here, Joe Raineri, this time of year before New Year's. But always good to be on with you Mondays and Wednesdays here, college basketball show. So thanks for having me on, buddy.
Listen, man, money is money. Profits are profits. Don't make a damn bit of difference what time of year. It is time to get paid here, Adam Trigger. What's going on? Is Sienna playing tonight? Because I bet you're going to bet him again. I'm just going to say, I'm going to throw it out there, my man. What's going on? How was the weekend?
Joe, the weekend was great. Actually, Sienna played yesterday and won as an 8-point underdog. We cashed that. So I finally got my win there. I think that the market might come back now, and we'll probably be looking to go against them. But the weekend was really good. I went 7-1, 2-0 sweep in the NFL yesterday, 4-0 sweep in college football on Saturday. Both of my 5% plays hit, and I have another 5% play in the NFL tonight. Any college basketball I have, we'll probably talk about here. So, yeah, good weekend, and hopefully we can keep it going.
All right, I love it. And Tony Mejia, continuing to rock and roll here, my friend. How was the weekend? That I know you're locked and loaded here tonight at WagerTalk.com.
Yeah, I've got NBA up, and I'll have some college basketball and NFL up too to celebrate our little $9 Monday every week. And good weekend, 5% play hit on Friday. Didn't have any 5% on Saturday or Sunday, but both days were profitable. So we're running hot, top number one, last 3 days and last 7 days, which is good because the volume approach is it can go hot and cold, and you can lose a lot on certain occasions, or you can win a ton when you get going. So I think the worst beat I had this weekend was that Wake Forest total on Saturday night, which featured Wake Forest quitting on the game with like 11 minutes left. That was disconcerting because I only gave them a touchdown. And but everything else went well. I can't really complain. You always complain about the bad beats, and then the wins. It's kind of like Nick Saban. The wins are shrugged off, and the losses are what stay with you.
Guys, $9 Monday means best bets right now. Go grab them for $9. It has been a profitable college basketball season for all, including this show, guys, where the best bets continue to roll here, especially last week. I mean, guys, 18-4 over the last week here. We've been crushing it. We will have some best bets, of course, coming up here in just a few. But let's break down a few games here tonight if we can. And it's not a huge slate, but some interesting games. And what better place to start than, well, I don't know, Big Ten is Illinois getting ready to take on Iowa in this one. Iowa opens up as a 3-point favorite here, guys. We're also seeing a total of 153. So I will come to you here, Drew. Talk to me about these two Big Ten powerhouses here. Iowa is a 3-point favorite. Do you agree?
I do, Joe. And I think this is the best game on the card tonight. You know, Big Ten action, you teed it up nicely. Talking about the Illinois side of things, a top 20 team in both offensive and defensive efficiency. Brad Underwood has them playing pretty good basketball overall, Joe. Thing is, they, coming into the season, they were so highly ranked. I don't think they've really kind of looked the part that a lot of people thought they would in the preseason. They beat Notre Dame, Kansas State, I guess you could say quality wins. They also lost to Cincinnati and Marquette. I don't know if I power rate him as high as kind of the market is here, especially going up against Iowa, Joe. I mean, 2.5 before we got on. I guess it's -3 at most shops now. I think Iowa's the side here. I really do. Offensive possession length. They're a top 10 team in the country, meaning they're not holding the ball very long. They're trying to get their shot up. They're going to run up and down the court. Fast tempo team. Remember that offense from last season, how good they were. They've carried it over to this season under Fran McCaffrey. Free throw percentage, one of the best in the country, top 20 anyway. Free throws, almost 80%. So this team can really knock it down. They don't turn the ball over. That's actually number 1 in the country. Out of all 350 plus teams, guys, Iowa is turning the ball over less than anybody in the country, running that fast tempo here. So it's a team I'm actually not too worried to lay points with, especially because they're hitting near 80% from the free throw line. And hey, Iowa beat Virginia. They're also off of a loss to Purdue, which, Joe, me and you have kind of talked off air. Purdue, I wouldn't be surprised if they're cutting down the nets, winning it all by the end of the season, as good as the Boilermakers are. So I wouldn't penalize the Hawkeyes too much for that. If you could find a 2.5, I would bet it -3. I still like it. I think Iowa's the side to start it off, Joe.
Woo, going Iowa to get it done here. What do you think? What do you think, Trig? Is Iowa the way to look here?
I hate to disagree with Drew, but I would go the other way on this game. And you know what? You might want to take that with a grain of salt, because I am like overly high on this Illinois team this year. So I might even need to check my original assessment of them. But the one thing I bet before the season was Illinois at 25-1 to win the whole thing. And, I know they have a couple losses, but I still see this team as one of a handful of teams that could probably compete for a title this year. The main reason is Kofi Cockburn. I don't know that you're going to find a more dominant individual in the college basketball game. 24 points per game, 10.6 rebounds. Teams have to game plan for him, specifically. There's not many players in the country where you literally have to put a game plan together for an individual the way you do for Cockburn when you play Illinois. Now, I always do this around this time of year. What happened in November starts to become a little less relevant. So, Illinois, yes, do they have the 2 losses? They do. The loss at Marquette came without Cockburn. I'm almost willing to completely throw that out. The Cincinnati game is a little concerning, but I think Brad Underwood is a great coach, and I think he's finally got the mix right with who's playing, the minutes. And, Curbelo going down might have helped him with that, but I think they've been a much better team once they started to go with Cockburn and Hawkins, the other big man that I couldn't remember his name just now. And then Alfonso Plummer and Frazier being the backcourt seems to be the right mix for Illinois. So, Iowa's a good team, and I really don't like to go against them at Carver Hawkeye Arena, where I do feel like they have a pretty big home court advantage. But if I'm just looking at these two teams, I think Illinois is the far superior team here. So I really have to ask myself, is the home court advantage worth not taking Illinois? Because that is a real thing. Carver Hawkeye Arena is an awesome play. It's probably one of the better home court advantages for any team in the country. Iowa was down 19 to Purdue with 10 minutes to go. I'm not sure what the deal was with Purdue in that game and how Iowa got back in that game, but they did. And I'll give Iowa some credit for that. They didn't give up. They were without Keegan Murray, who's probably going to play tonight, and they really battled their way back. So I'll give them credit for that. Getting back, they cover the number. It's a pretty resilient effort without their best player. The only way I could go here is Illinois with the points. I just think it's a huge bargain getting the points with Illinois in this spot where I really feel is the better team. I haven't put it on my card yet, but I'm strongly considering the Illinois side tonight.
All right, strongly considering the Illinois side. I love it. All right, talk to us here. You got 1-1 here, so what are we doing here, me? Here, break the tie. You going Iowa? You going Illinois? You're probably going the under. What's going on?
My lean's definitely Illinois. I think the markets are anticipating Keegan Murray playing, and if he somehow doesn't, and it was a surprise that he missed the other game, that line went from 12 to 16 in favor of Purdue. So this might go from favoring the Hawkeyes by 2.5, 3 to a pick'em or the Illini -1. So from that standpoint, there's value on the Illini in case Murray's ankle isn't good to go. Again, the anticipation is that he will play. Now the nation's number 2 scorer is Michael DeVoe of Georgia Tech, passed him over the weekend. But averaging 24.6 points a game, he's been the focal point of that offense in replacing Luka Garza and Joe Wieskamp. And this Iowa team, I have no idea how they covered the Purdue game. I was on -12 the other night as one of my favorite plays, considering I had cashed a 5% play with Purdue over FSU earlier in the week, and they just look like a team that's playing at a March level very early, and it's loaded. They have 8, 9 guys who should be able to start on any team in America. Matt Painter's doing a really nice job of utilizing depth, and I still don't know how Iowa covered that game. It was a resilient effort. If you look at their numbers, pretty underwhelming. They shot 40% from the field, 5 of 21 from 3-point range, and they still managed to cover against Purdue. Adam detailed how much they were up in that game. The Boilermakers, they were up 13 at the break. It just seemed like there was no quit in Iowa. So that's disconcerting if you want to ride the Illini. But again, I think at this point, the flu bug that worked its way through the Illinois program is come and gone. They know that they're not going to have Corbello for a while. He's dealing with a shoulder injury and some other issues. And when he comes back, he's going to give that team a boost if he's right, because he's one of the more talented point guards in America. But the players that they have in the program right now, ready to go, know the objective. You got to feed the ball inside to Coburn, get him going. He's been nothing but consistent, from the word jump when he got back in after the 3-game suspension. So he's averaging 26 and 10. Iowa actually broke in a player who's going to be key for them if they are going to hang around, Josh Ogundelli, really a British kid, 6'10", little used over the last 2 years. He went for 7 and 5 against Purdue and their monsters inside. So if the Iowa Hawkeyes do win today at home, he's going to have to do a nice job on Coburn and stay out of foul trouble. But again, this is a game that might not make my client plays, but if I'm playing it early, and I'm going Illinois taking the points and hoping that Keegan Murray does not play, and then I have line value.
Look at Trig on an island here with this game. Just exactly where he likes to be. All right, we got Iowa, we got Illinois. Probably the best matchup of the day, guys. Should be really, really fun. Love the Big Ten matchup here tonight. We're going to move on to game number 2 here today. Not the Big Ten. It's a non-conference matchup. We've got how about the Southern Conference taking on the Sun Belt here. Of like having a giant cock as a mascot there. Coastal Carolina taking on Mercer. Those that know what a Chanticleer is, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Total of 141 here, Trig. Where are you going here? You going the giant Coastal Carolina? You going Mercer here? I have a feeling I know where you're leaning. Where are you going?
Yeah, I like Mercer quite a bit here. If I was getting the number I wanted, this would already be a best bet for me. It opened 4 overnight. That 4 was gone real quick. It was 3 this morning. I was kind of hoping for 5. I was hoping that the last 2 games for Coastal Carolina were going to overvalue them more than it did. So basically, here's the deal. Coastal Carolina kind of played out of their minds the last 2 games. They beat South Carolina. They beat Winthrop. They shot the ball incredibly. Rudy Williams went off against Winthrop for like 30 and 10. Almost a single-handedly, closed that game out, won that game. But Coastal Carolina is not that's not what they are offensively. I'm going to read some numbers here. What they've done so far this season offensively. Field goal percentage, 245th in the country. From 328th in the country. At the foul line, 279th in the country. This team is, I think that they're that offensively more so than what we saw against South Carolina, which was just a huge game for them. That was in Myrtle Beach. It was just a really big spot for them. And I was surprised to see them continue it against Winthrop. I actually had that circled as potentially a letdown spot for them, and they did not let down. They went out and got the win over another quality team. Here, I think Mercer's a lot better than anyone really has given them credit for. I just don't think the masses really know much about this Mercer team, but they're deep. They've got 7 or 8 guys that can really play. Really good guard in Naftali Alvarez, averaging 14.9 points per game. Jalen Johnson from Wake Forest has transferred in. He's been great. So they're 8 guys deep that I think can really, really play. So just based on that, I kind of have Coastal Carolina as my comeback. They're on my comeback to earth list here. Whether it will be tonight or not will be to be seen, but that's the way I would look. So right now, Mercer plus 2.5. I haven't added it to my card yet. It's a strong lean at that number. Had I gotten 4 or 5 or had 4 or 5 still been available, I definitely would have played it. But yeah, the way I would go here, take the points with the Mercer Bears. I expect them to win the game.
All right. Looking for Mercer. How about you, Tony Mejia? You think we're going to get a few points in this one, or are you looking sidewise?
I do like the over. And Coastal's been really resilient. They lost point guard Devontae Jones to the transfer portal. And really has upgraded that position there. And I think that'll translate to more success for the Wolverines in the coming months, and it has to date. It's been a little rocky for them thus far. But Mercer, Trig mentioned him, Naftali Alvarez has been there for a little while. Really solid point guard. I think he plays for the Puerto Rican national team. And that experience. Felipe Haase, who is the pride of Chile. He's probably the best Chilean basketball player in the world right now. He is really solid, a good mid-major player. So I think there's talent across both sides, and maybe not a lot of defense. The only game that Coastal has played that's really been low scoring was down at Bahia Mar and against Valpo. They hung 80 on the Gamecocks, 74 points on Winthrop, even though they've got a coaching change there, is a lot. And then lost to Toledo 79-70. And obviously, Mercer's got a bunch of talented offensive players, so we'll roll the dice with an over.
All right. Over it is. What do you think, Drew? Which one you leaning here on this game?
Yeah, Joe, this is a fascinating matchup. Hearing Trig and Tony talk about this game, bringing up good points. The Mercer side of things has really good talent. The national players there, and Coastal Carolina, to Trig's point, those last 2 wins against South Carolina and Winthrop, they're kind of eye-opening. Like, man, is this team, that for real? Talking about the Chanticleers here, Cliff Ellis, the former Auburn head coach. The thing I've noticed here, look, Mercer is a really talented team. Mercer is in Macon, Georgia, about 2 hours south of Atlanta. They just played on Saturday and beat Georgia State, which is a pretty decent Panthers team there. They won outright as 3-point dogs over Georgia State Panthers, 83-77. So to Tony's point, putting up some points offensively, speaking towards the over. Look, Coastal Carolina, really coming along as a program, both in football and in basketball, kind of a sleeper group of 5 athletic department here. The back-to-back wins it's not something I want to go against, but at the same time, you got to look at something early on in the season, or at least I like to look at something early on in the season. And both of these 2 teams are kind of showing this, a little bit of home-road dichotomy. Mercer 1-3 on the road, 3-0 at home. Of course, they're going from Macon, Georgia here to Coastal Carolina. Not the easiest of trips. And Coastal Carolina at the same time, 1-2 in non-home games and 3-0 at home. So the shooting percentages are kind of reflecting that. For whatever reason, both of these 2 teams playing better at home. Look, I think it they cross each other out in terms of sidewise. I think it's a very difficult handicap. But I like where Tony was going with this. I haven't bet it yet, but I think he makes some great points. Under 140 here, the talent offensively on both teams. I would look towards the over in Mercer and Coastal Carolina tonight, Joe.
All right, expecting the points there. We're going to go ahead and move on to our last matchup here of the night. We're going to take a look at Towson and Kent State. Kent State opening up as a 5-point favorite. Total of 134 and in this one here. And Kent State can shoot the ball. More importantly there, Tony Mejia, they can shoot it from the free throw line. Really good, almost about 80% this year. So laying the 5 here, small number. Are you willing to do that with Kent State?
I probably would, but I need more intel on whether Malik Jacobs is in and why he missed the most recent game, because it was a walkover type game. So it might have just been, I got a nagging injury, let me sit out against Point Park, who they beat 107-41. Bonus points to you if you can tell me where Point Park was, because I can't. But I mean, look, they played very little competition that you can really sink your teeth into. Their most impressive wins come against JMU and George Washington. So they've got our presidents beat. We know that. But, I really don't know how that's going to translate. Towson has an impressive win in Las Vegas over New Mexico. They beat Richard Pitino's squad, and that actually is a game I thought would be on this list. New Mexico and New Mexico State in a rematch that'll be going off later tonight. But yeah, I mean, like I really haven't seen much of Towson. Just saw highlights there, so I would be more inclined to trust Kent State. But again, will Jacobs play? Because if he is, that's a quality defender to have in the backcourt, and you know what you're going to get from the Golden Flashes. That is Sincere Carey and Justin Hamilton, who's 6'11" and very talented, and Carey's obviously one of the better point guards in the MAC.
All right, good stuff there. And what do you think, Drew? How you leaning in this one? Towson, Kent State, which way are you going?
I like Towson sidewise. I think -6 here for Kent State, not having played a Division I college basketball games for almost 2 weeks here. I don't really count the point blank or whatever the team name that they beat 107-41 as a team. And no, Tony, I don't know where it is, but Towson being in the 300s in terms of pace, tempo, getting up and down the court. So they're going to look to go really slow tonight, Joe. And with the layoff from Kent State, yes, they haven't been able to score. And to your point, very good on the free throw line. So if you're looking to lay the 6, that's kind of maybe nudging you there towards the Towson, or excuse me, towards the Kent State side of things, because they knock down their free throws so much. But I just think the slow pace in this game, Kent State with the long layoff, Joe, it would lean me towards the under 131.5. This isn't it. Both of these two teams I haven't gotten a good look on yet this season. So doubt I'll play it personally, but if you made me bet it, I would look towards the under, Joe.
All right, looking towards the under in this one. What do you think, Trig? How you leaning in this one?
I'll be quick here because I kind of crossed this one off pretty quickly. But the number feels a tad high. Now, if you can figure out if Malik Jacobs is out, I would definitely look at the Towson side. That would be a pretty big loss for Kent State. My concern with Towson is they'll probably go cold at some point offensively in this game somewhere. They're a terrible 3-point shooting team, and that's probably their biggest issue. Is they'll have periods of time where they struggle on offense, and I'm just a little worried that if they go cold, they get down more than they can sort of fight back. But I don't want to like 6 with Kent State here. That seems like too many. Like Drew said, the under looks kind of playable. So in that case, I would look toward, at least trying to make a case for the team getting 6 points. And Towson's improved. They're much better defensively this year than they were last year. So I guess my only concern with Towson is, if they can hang back and forth with Kent State, and if Jacobs was out, I would say that they probably can. But at this point, we don't have any information on that. I'm not sure if he's playing or not. So it's a pass for me. But like I said, if you have that info, or you see sort of closer to game time that Jacobs is not going to play, and you're still seeing 6s or 5.5s out there, I would give Towson a look in this game.
All right, giving Towson
Joe,
a little glance. Go ahead there, Tom.
Real quick, because Marco might have a conniption. Apparently, Point Park is a former junior college, now a private university in Pittsburgh. So I'm sure he'd know where that is.
Marco, good Lord. All right, so let's let's go on here, guys. Only Marco would know that, by the way. Only Marco would know that. It's probably next to like a favorite chicken wing place of his, and that's why he knows it. Who are we kidding there? All right, guys, let's time to, of course, recap what we've got going on and talk about a little best bet here. And Drew, we're going to start with you. Quick reminder, $9 Monday here, guys, which means best bets for all three of these gentlemen, including everyone at WagerTalk.com. Just $9. Great opportunity for you to hop on board and give it a shot here, whether it be Drew Martin, Adam Trigger, or Tony Mejia. Head on over to WagerTalk.com and get that rolling. So, Drew, coming to you, my man, of the limited card here tonight, do you have a game circled you like as a best bet?
Absolutely, Joe. I'm going to the prime time matchup in the Big Ten, Illinois and Iowa. And I like the Hawkeyes here, Joe. A couple reasons why. Illinois struggled on the free throw line, under 70% on the season. Yeah, a couple wins against Notre Dame and Kansas State, but it still really hasn't beaten any, top echelon teams, in my opinion. And going up against the Hawkeyes, Fran McCaffrey's team, up and down the court, fast-paced team. They don't turn the ball over. They're knocking down their free throws at near an 80% clip and field goal percentage top 20 in the country. So running up and down the court, I think they take it to Illinois, -3, but actually -2.5, guys. Shop around. We get Circa in Vegas, Westgate, both hanging at 2.5, a bunch of prominent offshore books. So shop around for the 2.5. I think the Iowa Hawkeyes win this one, Joe. Kind of going away, maybe even touching double digits here over Illinois.
Wow, calling the shot. Love it. All right, way to go there, Drew. All right, Trig, let's keep it rolling here, man. Where's your best bet? Which game you looking at here tonight?
All right, Joe, listen, two of my favorite people in the world, Drew Martin Betts and Fran McCaffrey, who took Siena to 3 straight NCAA tournaments from 2008 to 2010. So I really don't want to go against either of them tonight. And the Carver Hawkeye Arena home field or home court advantage, if you will, is a real thing. So my best bet, we'll head to the second game we talked about, Mercer, Coastal Carolina, and I'll go with Mercer. I think they're the better team. I think they're the more complete team. They're the deeper team. And Coastal Carolina, like I said, I really think they played out of their minds the last 2 games against Winthrop and South Carolina. To me, I have them rated more what they were the first few games of the year than what they were recently, with Rudy Williams just having a huge game against Winthrop, and they played collectively just one of the best games they'll probably play all year against South Carolina. So yeah, I think there's some value here with Mercer getting points. Some of that value is gone. They bet that. I know this was sharp at 4, and I know a sharp group that took this at 3. It's now 2.5. So do what you will with that. But yeah, I think Mercer's the right side here. I think they're the more complete team. And yeah, I just think you're getting some value, getting a couple of points. So I will take Mercer with the points to beat Coastal Carolina tonight.
Going the Bears, getting it done here, Trig. All right, let's go, Mejia. Let's keep it rolling here. Best bet time. Where are you going on this limited card?
Well, I'm going north of where I am to Gainesville in the O-Dome, where Florida welcomes in Texas Southern. Texas Southern is playing like something like 12 or 13 consecutive road games. I mean, nobody does the guarantee game slate the way Texas Southern does. I mean, they do it every year. Their first home game won't come until January 8th, so they'll spend the first 2 months on the road. They've already been at Oregon, Washington, NC State, BYU, Louisiana Tech, actually their most recent stop, and they lost 87-60, which was their toughest loss of the season. They've actually got talent on that team. It was a tournament team last year, so maybe the bottom fell out, even though it was their first game in a week, and the games are actually being spaced out decently, so it's not like they're living out of a suitcase. And in this game, they could probably hang within 20 of Florida. The Gators coming off their first and only loss of the season, losing at Oklahoma on the road, first true road game for the Gators there. Mike White's team took a hit where Colin Castleton actually got outplayed by Tanner Groves in a big man matchup. I think Florida will rebound, but the question is by how much? And I don't want to lay 20, and I don't want to take 20. So the next option is the total, which is actually climbing to 139. But one rule of thumb for me in betting totals is it takes 2 teams usually to make an over. And so I don't think this is going to be competitive. I think Florida has something to prove after allowing Uncharacteristically, 49% shooting from the Sooners last time out, so we should see them clamp down. I like the under, which is now available at 139 after opening in the 136.5, 137 range.
All right, so I don't know if Tony Mejia realizes, but our fearless producer, Robert, is an alum of Texas Southern. And on the screen, he was just shaking his head. He was ready for you to lower the hammer on Texas Southern, man. But you didn't do it, so you didn't do it.
The Tigers. Go, Robert.
I'm telling you, man, he was going, but I was watching his face, and I'm going, oh, no. He thinks Mejia is going to drop the hammer on him. All right, guys, well, I'm going to go with the degenerate special here. I was going to go with Robert's Houston Cougars there to win by 100, but I'm like, nah, that's too easy. So I'm going to go degenerate special. In case you happen to bet New England tonight and they get run over by Buffalo, you got this game waiting for you, and it's out in Pepperdine, as Pepperdine taking on San Jose State. It's pretty simple. One team is terrible. The other team, not so terrible, but they are way better at shooting threes. So give me as many points as you possibly can with San Jose State, +5, 4.5, somewhere in that ballpark. Their ability to hit threes at a much greater clip than Pepperdine, yeah, that'll be the difference in this game. So I'll take the 4.5 and sprinkle a little something on the money line in case Pepperdine loses, I don't know what, their 7th or 8th in a row. And we do have, of course, our Gold Sheet play of the day, our friends from the Gold Sheet, like New Mexico, another rivalry game. I love this. New Mexico and the over tonight in their matchup. New Mexico State. And, of course, guys, this full write-up available at WagerTalk's Twitter page. If you head on over there, you can read the full write-up in there, and always great information and great handicapping tools available at the Gold Sheet, guys. Make sure you check it out. All right, here we go. Recapping it time. Just a reminder, I believe it is 18-4 over the last week with these bets. So we'll see if we can keep that profit train rolling with Trig going Mercer. Take the 2.5, or I'm sorry, take the 2.5 rather. Tony Mejia was about to lower the hammer on Texas Southern, but opted instead to go with the under of 139 against Florida. Drew could not be more adamant. Give him Iowa, and more Iowa laying the 2.5. I'm going San Jose State. I'll take the 5. And our friends from the Gold Sheet, New Mexico, plus the 4.5 and the over 51 in that matchup. Guys, we appreciate it. Of course, hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner and get notified every time one of the shows goes live. But a quick reminder, it is $9 Monday, which means best bets, $9 at WagerTalk.com. It's a great opportunity for you to hop on board here. Visit Drew Martin, visit Adam Trigger, visit Tony Mejia. These guys are crushing it here in college hoops. The opportunity to make it a profitable Monday, guys. Just $9 over at WagerTalk.com. All right, we've got NBA still to come a little bit later, and the Monday Night Football edition of Bet On It right here on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe there, guys, and enjoy tonight. Best of luck with your plays. Come back and join us tomorrow. More college basketball coming your way. Good luck, guys. We'll talk to you then.
Founded in 1957, the Gold Sheet is the country's longest-running sports betting newsletter. Each week, the Gold Sheet team delivers analysis on NFL and college football games, along with NBA and college basketball matchups. The Gold Sheet maintains in-depth point spread and results logs, giving sports bettors and enthusiasts the insights needed to maximize their wagers. For over 60 years, Gold Sheet readers have received key releases based on power rankings on all teams, and for the first time ever, you can now get these selections exclusively at goldsheet.com, wagertalk.com, and sportsmemo.com.